Welcome to Screw the Commute, the entrepreneurial podcast dedicated to getting you out of the car and into the money. With your host, lifelong entrepreneur and multimillionaire, Tom Antion.
Hey everybody, it's Tom here with episode 681 of Screw the Commute podcast. Today we're going to talk about hashtags. I've been using them a lot lately because of my work on TikTok. And, hashtags have only been around since around 2007, but they're one of the internet things that has stood the test of time and are actually increasing in use. And if you're not using them, it's free to do, but it can really, really help you out, and I'll explain that today. I hope you didn't miss episode 680. Kim Rosdiba and I had a little interesting episode on branding. So, I rag on branding all the time. So he kind of put it in perspective on when and not to when to use branding. That was episode 680. And of course, when you want to get to a back episode, you go to screwthecommute.com/ and then the episode number, that was 680. Hey, the Christmas season and holiday season is coming up. It'd be a great time for you to help out those in need. We have our scholarship program for persons with disabilities. We have a Patreon set up for it, which starts as little as $3 a month. So getting all this training from me, all the money from it is going to go to the scholarship fund. I'm not taking a nickel for myself. So check it out at screwthecommute.com/Patreon. And make sure you pick up a copy of our automation ebook at screwthecommute.com/automate free. You will thank me after you use some of the techniques in this book, which are free and cheap, to save you enormous amounts of time and keystrokes and all that stuff. So check it out at screwthecommute.com/automate free, and then pick up a copy of our podcast app at screwthecommute.com/app. That's APP, and put us on your cell phone and tablet and take us with you on the road. All right, let's get to the main training here. And by the way, we actually took all our training episodes and put it on one page at screwthecommute.com/training. There's over 300 episodes teaching you. It's $1 million worth of free training. So check out screwthecommute.com/training if you'd like to hone in on an education on internet, digital marketing, entrepreneurship, all kinds of stuff that I've lived for, I don't know, a lot of years. Okay, today we're going to talk about hashtags. Now, what is it? Well, it's a one word or string of words preceded by the number sign. It's called the hashtag sign now, and us oldsters all right, know it as the pound sign. It has no spaces and no punctuation, and it's connected to a piece of content. Well, what's it for? Well, it identifies what a piece of material is about or who would be interested in that piece of material. It makes your social media posts more visible and increases engagement because basically it lumps and aggregates a bunch of content on a particular subject so people can find and consume it easier. They don't have to sift through a bunch of stuff to find their exact interest, so they like that better. For instance, hashtag golf lovers would obviously be material of interest to people who love golf. It seems pretty simple, doesn't it? Well, it really is, but it can be extremely powerful to make sure your content is shown to the right group of people. Now, on TikTok and other places too, your hashtag is telling the algorithm who to show this content to. In other words, who would be interested in this piece of content I just put out. Here's an example. I'm an internet and digital marketing mentor. Okay, been there for 25 years doing that. Now, what you need to do is think of who would want to see a piece of content about this topic, and would they be a valuable lead for me? See, I could put hashtag web designer, but in many cases, I already know they think they know it all and probably won't follow me and spend any money. So a better hashtag would be hashtag small business owner. Remember, no spaces, no punctuation. Or hashtag mompreneur. or hashtag how to start a small business. See, in other words, I want the person that can use my kind of help and is most likely to invest in themselves. Now, I'm working with here's another example. I'm kind of working with a group of hashtags on TikTok with regard to homeschooling because I know my school is perfect for them. And I'm using hashtags like hashtag homeschooling that had 886 million uses, extremely large. I'm going to talk about the size of the hashtags, like how popular they are in a minute. Homeschooling mom, 36.3 million. Homeschooling moms, 7.6 million. These numbers are only on TikTok, by the way, folks. Homeschooling mama, all right, had 2.8 million. Homeschool was 1.9 billion. Now listen to this. You can use misspellings and not get any flack about it. Ham school, all right, unless there's some school out there I don't know about that specializes in pigs, all right, I don't know. Ham school had 15 million. Homeschool mom was 232.5 million. Now, you have to think a little bit past this too. Hashtag money for college. Well, that at least puts that prospect that's typing that into higher education, and that's what my school provides, but it's a skill-based school rather than the 4-year indoctrination schools, that they're going to, spend a fortune, have massive college debt, and be competing for jobs at Starbucks, all right? So, but anyway, that money for college hashtag means, who searches for such a thing? Unless they either have somebody that's going to, looking for higher education, or they themselves are looking for higher education. Now, you might say, Tom, I don't want to bring up a bunch of competitors by making it easy for someone to find a bunch of my competitors that are using my same hashtag. Well, you see, that's a two-edged sword. See, yes, your customers and prospects may see your competitors, but remember, when your competitor uses the hashtag, their prospects can also see you. And if you don't use the hashtag, then you're basically left out of the topics group of cool kids and you're on your own. See, it seems like a little protectionistic to me and short-sighted to me. You need to improve what you have to offer so that when you come up in a hashtag, your offer looks way better than the other guys, all right? Now, let's talk about the number of uses on a hashtag. Now, the figures that I were giving you change all the time, but I got them directly from TikTok. I did a search on TikTok, clicked on hashtags, and it shows me the hashtags and how many people are using the hashtags. So that one I said was 1.9 billion. Well, what that means to you is if you're not well established in that niche, and on that hashtag, you will virtually never be seen because there are too many competitors. Now, I can't tell you how many is too many for you. You have to research and see what the range is in your field. For instance, I just looked up on TikTok the hashtag carburetor, and the most I got was 73 million. That sounds like a really big thing, but it's nothing compared to 1.9 billion for homeschooling, right? Now, the misspelling of carburetor got 29 million. Everything else was really tiny in the thousands, hundreds of thousands, which, like I said, with billions of people on the TikTok, those are relatively small numbers. But what this pretty much says is you could rank much easier and be found way easier if you work with carburetors, all right? So the numbers vary according to the popularity of the niche. This doesn't mean you have no chance of success in larger niches. It just means you have to work it harder and work your way up using the lesser known and searched hashtags. And that way you'll have a better chance to be found and more people get to know you. And as you grow, you can hit the higher hashtags. Now, hashtags work differently on different platforms. YouTube recently even got into the act with now my video guy Mark. We did episode 668. He's done several over the years with me, but we talked about hashtags on how they're used on YouTube. Now, in the show notes, I'm going to link to a HubSpot article that breaks down how hashtags work on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And I think you're going to be surprised when you read this article. If you're actually using hashtags but never really looked into how they're used on these different platforms, you may be doing it totally worthlessly or even hurting yourself. So I'll have that article linked in the show notes. And you can even use hashtags on printed materials and signs, and you can say them on interviews. It's very common and accepted nowadays if you say hashtag so-and-so. You can even make up your own hashtags for events and so forth. Now, you have to promote the hashtag because, you know, I might say hashtag butt camp. Okay, well, that's my, the longest running internet, continuously running internet and digital marketing seminar ever. But it's not like the whole world knows about it. It's not a household name, butt camp. Right? They'll probably think it's porn or something, or an exercise thing. Like, yeah, it kind of is. I guess you're exercising your brain to sell online. But anyway, it's not well known. So I would have to promote that myself to get people to use it, to keep all the stuff with regard to, let's say, an upcoming butt camp in one place. So it can spread around and people can see it. But that's a much different thing than using hashtags that are already well established and you jumping in on the bandwagon. So you're really missing out if you aren't actively using hashtags that apply to your target audience. And I can assure you, your competitors are. All right, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Hey, help us out with Patreon, screwthecommute.com/Patreon. All the money that comes in, less the Patreon fees, will go to the scholarship program for persons with disabilities. We have 3 people in the program, 2 of which are blind. I mean, just so inspirational to me. So please give us a hand with that, screwthecommute.com/Patreon, and I will catch you on the next episode. Oh, wait a minute. Don't forget to follow me on TikTok. I'm really growing very rapidly, and that's a place where you can grow very rapidly. And I know there's everybody's saying a lot of bad things about it, but I'm going to use it to my advantage before they do something bad to me. How about that? All right, we'll catch you on the next episode. I'm at Digital Multimillionaire on TikTok. See you later.